Hey
Hello.
everybody, I'm Tina.
And I'm Priscilla.
And we are the Sensei Sisters. Woo, we did that pretty good. We were
did.
right in sync there.
Even our heads
Like
tilted.
synchronized swimmers.
Yeah.
Woo. We really swimming. Hey, today we're talking about done is better than perfect, or at least it's better than nothing at all, right?
Yeah. It's not blah 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 blah. Anyway.
Easy
Sorry,
for you to
I
say.
tripped over my tongue. It was Hannah. What we wanted to talk about today is how don't be afraid to start with something that is imperfect, right? So maybe, it's planning ahead is always good, but sometimes we spend so much time planning ahead and putting off until the conditions are perfect and everything is right that we never get something done. Like, I'm going to paint the trim, but I'm going to do it on a day when I have on the right clothes, so if I get the paint on, you know what I'm saying? So, an example of this, from my own personal experience, is I have a class that I call Soul Glow, and it's fitness to all Christian music. And originally, before I started doing that class, I had been doing Zumba for a while, and I would occasionally throw in a Christian song, and people would say, you ought to do a class that has all Christian songs, but I didn't want to add another whole class. And then eventually I decided I would add a whole class, but it would have to be back to back with a Zumba class so that I would maximize, my time in the gym and not have to keep driving back and forth. And then that was exhausting, and eventually that developed into, well, let's just do it, because a lot of people didn't want to stay for 2 hours, but they wanted both classes, so, which I understand, and I wanted it too. So then it developed into, let's do it after class, but just a half an hour, and we're going to add weights to make it more intense, to make the most of that 30 minutes. And then that developed into, there's a pandemic. And so, long story short, the current situation is I have one class that's half Soul Glow and half Zumba, and everybody loves it, and it's fantastic, and it's been working out really well. But the whole process has come a long way from just the idea of, I cannot add this other class because it would be too much in my schedule.
Yeah.
And now here it is, and I was telling Tina earlier, if you had presented the current situation to me at the time when I was considering it, I would say that would never work. I had to go through this whole process. So I had to start with what was not perfect, even, but it was something. And starting with that imperfect something has led to something really awesome that everybody enjoys, and I especially enjoy it. I hope everybody enjoys it. Y'all enjoy it? I hope so. But Tina, have you had that experience also?
Oh, I have. I can't think of a specific example, but I know, like with writing a speech, sometimes I will write like a draft of a speech and I don't like it, and so then I will toss it on the side, and it's not until somebody says, I'll mention the topic to them maybe, and they'll say, oh, that's a really good topic. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm working on the speech, but I just can't get it where I want. And they say, well, can you present it at our club next week? And then I force myself to present it at a Toastmasters club or at a dinner for somebody or whatever. And because and AJ always says I work better under pressure, but I don't think it's that as much as it is just that I force myself to get something done, and then I go back and look at it, and I'm able to better see where it needs to be adjusted, right? Mm-hmm. Because if I had waited until my head had the perfect concept, I wouldn't have had anything to work with. And it's just like you with the Soul Glow. If I put the speech on paper and then look at it, I say, oh, I see the issue here. Or I put it on paper and actually present it at a Toastmasters meeting or even at a professional meeting. And I'll say, man, that presentation would have been really good if I had incorporated such and such. And sometimes it's like a question that comes from the audience. Like I'll say at the end, any questions? And somebody will say, have you thought about this? And then I'll be like, oh my gosh, that would make this so much better, this presentation. And then I'll redo the presentation and add the answer to their question. So I totally get what you're talking about. It's like, if you start working on something, then you can look for the room for improvement. But if you don't even begin to develop the idea or the process, how can you ever perfect it, right? You have to start with something. So done is better than perfect, or at least something done is better than nothing at all.
Yes.
And you can work on perfection later.
Amen.
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 All right, guys. Well, you guys have a great rest of your week and a wonderful
Yes.
weekend. We're trying to keep out of the weather. But for now, make yourself a priority.
Take care of you.
Bye.
Bye.